He didn't scream, he didn't cry, he didn't even run. He just stood there, staring at me with an expression that still wakes me up at night. And the worst part, in that moment, he wasn't even angry. He just looked disappointed. And somehow, that hurt far more than being caught. I've replayed that day 1,000 times, and every version ends the same way, with me wishing I could go back and stop myself before everything collapsed. All right, let's begin. My wife, Maria, and I had been married for 4 years. She came into the marriage with a teenage son, Lucas, who was 16 at the time. And look, I'm not going to sugarcoat things. Being a stepfather isn't easy. You walk this line between wanting to connect and not wanting to overstep. But Lucas and I, we weren't best friends, but we weren't enemies. We coexisted. We joked sometimes. We shared space. He'd tell me about school or random things he found online. Slowly, he warmed up to me. I could feel it. And that's what makes everything I did even worse. Maria worked long hospital shifts, night shifts sometimes. I worked from home most days. The loneliness creeps in when you're alone for too long. At least that's the excuse I used for myself in the beginning. Her friend, Alyssa, came into the picture by accident. She had gone through a breakup, and Maria asked me if she could stay with us for a week or so, just until she figured things out. I agreed, obviously. I mean, what kind of person says no when someone needs help? I didn't realize I was about to become that kind of person. Alyssa was complicated, loud, funny, flirtatious without meaning to be. Or maybe she meant to be, and I was too naive to see it. She'd sit close, touch my arm when she laughed, tell me Maria was lucky to have someone so calm and so attentive. I should have shut it down. I should have stepped away, but I didn't. It only takes one weak moment to ruin years of your life. It was a Saturday afternoon. Maria was working a double shift. Lucas had told us he was going to a friend's house for football practice. I was in the living room, scrolling through work emails, when Alyssa came in and sat beside me, too close. She asked if I wanted something to drink. I said no. She brought me one anyway. We talked. It was harmless at first. Then the conversation drifted. She told me her ex never appreciated her. She said she felt invisible. I told her I understood loneliness more than I should. One thing led to another, and before I realized what I was doing, I had crossed a line I can never uncross. I don't know how long it lasted. Minutes, seconds. Guilt makes time feel blurry. But what I do remember is the sound. A sharp gasp. I turned. Lucas was standing in the doorway, eyes wide, face pale, backpack still hanging off one shoulder. He wasn't supposed to be home. He wasn't supposed to see me like that. He wasn't supposed to see me betray his mother. The room went so silent I could hear the blood rushing in my ears. Alyssa froze. I scrambled, trying to pull myself together, trying to form words that didn't sound like excuses. But what do you even say in a moment like that? I'm sorry, it's not what it looks like. It was exactly what it looked like. Lucas stared at me like he was seeing a stranger. Then he whispered something I'll never forget. I trusted you. Just that. Quiet, shaky, I felt something inside me collapse. He turned and walked out. Not running, not slamming the door, just walking calmly, like he'd just given up. I rushed after him, still fumbling with my clothes, calling his name, begging him to stop. But he went straight to his room, locked the door, and didn't answer me no matter how many times I knocked. I sat outside his door for nearly an hour, head in my hands, hating myself more than I thought possible. Eventually, I heard him on the phone, crying, whispering. I didn't need to hear the words to know exactly who he was calling. Maria came home earlier than expected. She didn't even look at me when she walked through the door. She just went straight upstairs to Lucas. I stayed downstairs, waiting for the explosion, but it didn't come, not immediately. Instead, an hour passed, then another, and finally, She walked down the stairs, eyes red, face blank. She didn't scream. She didn't throw anything. She didn't fall apart. She just said, "I needed to hear it from him first. I knew you'd lie." I tried to explain. I tried to take responsibility. I told her it was my fault, that she didn't deserve this. She didn't even blink. She just quietly packed a bag and went back upstairs to pack one for Lucas. Before she walked out, she said something that still stings worst of all. "You weren't supposed to be his father, but I thought you could at least be someone he could trust, and you ruined that." They stayed at her sister's house for weeks. Eventually, Maria told me she wanted space. Then she said she wanted a separation. Then she said she wanted a divorce. Alyssa left the next day after the incident without saying goodbye. I haven't spoken to her since. I thought the worst pain came from losing Maria. It didn't. The worst pain came when Lucas finally came to the house to grab the last of his things. He didn't yell at me. He didn't curse at me. He didn't break anything. He just said, "I used to think you were different." And then he left. There's no recovery from something like that. Not really. I've spent months trying to rebuild my life, but the truth is, some mistakes stay with you forever. I betrayed my wife. I betrayed myself, but the person I hurt most wasn't even the one I cheated on. It was the kid who didn't ask for any of this, the kid who trusted me. People talk about infidelity like it's a private sin, like it only affects the two people involved, but it doesn't. It spills, it spreads, it destroys everything in its path, including people who never deserve to be dragged into the wreckage. If there's anything I can say to anyone watching this, it's this. One moment of weakness can cost you everything. Don't convince yourself otherwise. Don't think you can control the fallout. You can't. I don't know if Lucas will ever forgive me. I don't know if Maria will ever look at me without remembering that day. I doubt it, but I wake up every morning trying to be a better man than the one who made that choice. It's the only thing I can do. It's the only way forward, and that's the truth.